Okay, good evening. We welcome you at the 7th Women's Masters in Basel, part of the Curling Champions Tour. In tonight's event, we are welcoming teams Hasselborg from Sweden versus team Muirhead from Scotland. So I'm here, my name is Roger Gulka. I'm here with Michael Lips, who's a veteran curler, 1988 Swiss champion, and participated in 1988 World Championships for Switzerland. Also World Swiss champion in 1990, with also participation in the 1990 World Championships, and also he participated in 1991 European Curling Championships with a 3rd rank. So hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Hello. Good evening, Curling Europe. Good afternoon, Curling North America. I'm very pleased to be here. It's the very first time for me to co-comment a Bonspiel here in Switzerland.
So are you feeling happy to be back in the curling world as a commentator this time?
So I am.
Yeah. So we have two teams that we roughly don't even have to present. Anna Hasselborg, who has been a world junior champion after 2 participations. She won the gold medal in Flims, beating Rachel Homans Canada. And she participated in the European Mixed Curling Championships. And we have the rock star of curling playing against her, Muirhead, who's played the Olympic Games once, last time in Vancouver, and is very certainly going to play them again in Sochi. She's played the World Curling Championships now 4 times with 1 silver medal, the World Junior Curling Championships, and that's a record, 4 times, 4 gold medals, 4 times a World Junior Curling Champion. And she played the European Curling Championships with also 1 title, I think it was last year, and silver medal, sorry. And she played the European Mixed Curling Championships 2 times with a gold medal also. So very successful, very young, and very talented curler. I think we're going to have a good game now tonight.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope that we play a very offensive game tonight. So we will see.
Yes, well, it started reasonably offensive already with a corner guard and a rock behind it. Well, actually, I think that corner guard was meant to be a center guard, but finally ended up a little bit more on the side than expected, but a really nice draw there behind that yellow rock.
Behind the center line. But
So
very well hidden.
yes. And now I think that the Swedes are just going to try to ask for the same shot. Maybe they can bump their own shot back a little bit perfectly. That would be a good shot for the Swedes there to start that end correctly. They have the hammer. So by having the hammer, you want to try and score 2 shots, 2 points with your last rock. And when you don't have the hammer, like even your head, you want to try and force your opponent to score maximum 1, if possible maybe steal, but that's only eventual. No teams are forced to steal right now any points. So rock a little bit short here. It was a nice line though. And now Muirhead's going to try for the double takeout.
That's a point which I can't understand, because now they started very offensive and now they switched to the defensive game. That's a bit characteristic in women curling, that they switch in one end from offensive to defensive or other side round.
Yeah. Well, they have to be careful, because if they take those 2 yellow out, they might their rock that is a lot of yelling there. Well, maybe I think that she was maybe just aiming for that 1 yellow, which is finally actually a pretty good shot. Anna Hasselborg's going to try for the freeze again. The ice we have seen already this morning, well, noon, and already during the skins game, is very swingy, which is allowing a really good offensive game. This is always nice to see swingy ice.
That's the point. When they play a skins game, they play so offensive, and it's so interesting for your eye to look them. And in the normal game, they are more defensive in women curling. And I think point is, women don't want to lose, and men want to win. That's the big difference. Heavyweight.
Yes, Agnes Knochenhauer. So she's playing second for for Anna Hasselborg, and she has also played second during the World Championships in Flims, where they won their gold medal. So now Eve Muirhead is going to try thinking, maybe she's going to try and peel the guard. No.
Here is the contact. Okay.
Yeah. Very nice shot here.
Yeah.
Very nice shot from Vicky Adams. Eve Muirhead second. We can see that again. Good contact on the first rock. She's lying now 3 shots. So like we said, the Swedes who have housed rock will try and score 2. So their situation, even though they're facing 3 shots right now, is still not that bad. They have the center open. They have a corner guard so that they can always use later on to hide themselves behind. If she can make maybe a good hit and roll behind the corner guard, that would be absolutely perfect. It seems like it's roughly. It seems like a really good shot. I don't know.
Not too bad.
Yes,
not too bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty good shot. Maybe they can.
You don't have to forget that Hasselborg has the hammer in this first end, and so the center is open. Nothing is lost.
Yes. Well, at least she has to make sure she leaves herself a shot for 1, as at the same time as she's trying to score 2. So right now her rock is pretty well placed, because there is a possibility for a jam at the back. And Anna Sloan playing a hack weight. I think that's the good weight to play. You have to play a nice hack weight, curl enough.
Excellent.
Make
Excellent
a really
job.
nice shot.
Yeah.
And now Anna Hasselborg asking for a hit and roll on the open shot. So like we said again, she's got the center open, so she still has her possibility to draw for 1 if worse comes to worse. But she still has also that corner guard she can use, also with the rock behind the tee line to score 2. And now this is Karin Rutström's shot. It didn't curl enough. That's really too bad.
Hit and stick.
Yeah, hit and stick. So now probably Eve's just gonna ask for the hit and roll exactly. Right. Just take no risk. She's in the strong position right now. Asking Anna Sloan, her third. A lot of sweeping. I think they're trying to sweep for the roll. It's just over curling quite a lot.
Yeah.
First time they played this way, so probably either the rock was not on the broom or the ice was not giving right. Maybe the weight seemed all right. Anyway, now is Anna Hasselborg going to try for a draw? I think from now on I would maybe try and draw on those 2 rocks. I mean,
absolutely. I think now forget the takeout game. So she has to play the draw.
Yes. even though appeal is still a possibility if she wants to take absolutely no risk. But I don't really see the point because it's with that guard that she has the best chance to score a 2.
Yeah. And the question is not in turn or out turn. Doesn't matter.
You draw on either one of them. At least you need to try and get the shot and the freeze on one of those 2 rocks.
Yeah.
If she freezes on the rock at the back, she will lie shot. So that would be probably the best shot. The only thing is that then Muirhead would probably just draw on it. But now it looks like she's just asking for the...
That's the point I can't understand. Now, she played very defensive now. She don't want to lose the end, and so she clears the guard.
Well, at least she's taking no risk.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't understand exactly why she would really want to peel this guard. It was not particularly dangerous for her. It's not blocking the center, but anyway. For any questions or comments, of course, you can always write us at live@curlingchampionstour.org. So we will be glad to answer your questions and comments on the game and on our comments live. So don't hesitate to write to our address at live@curlingchampionstour. I've got my computer right here, and I'm going to be watching the emails.
I don't mind either or. I quite like here. Okay. If we just slightly like that. Even biting's pretty nice. Even if you're showing an edge on this side, it might tempt.
So I was talking before just with Peja Lindholm, who's the national coach of Sweden. And so like I don't know if you remember when we were watching the Annette Norberg's game this at noon, and Hasselborg was losing on the sheet right next to them. And she actually lost pretty badly. I think it was at least 6-7-2 or something. And so they had apparently a good team talk, and he was telling me that they were feeling confident again and that they were eager to win this game. So we really hope that they're going to bring up a great game, because that's always what we want to see from those teams. I mean, we've got 2 really class teams up here. Eve Muirhead, of course. Well, I think for all the curlers, she's probably the player that you don't even need to introduce anymore. She's even more than a curler. She's a celebrity now in Britain.
So it is.
Yeah. I remember reading an article in the newspaper where there was a plane had a problem and had to land again, and she was in it, and she was interviewed, and there was her picture, etc. She was participating to some fashion shows, etc. So, I mean, she's become more than just a curler right now. But the interesting thing with her is that actually she had the choice between becoming a curling professional, because she's curling really professionally. I think that her federation pays her for curling.
Yeah,
and
right.
she's dedicating her life for that. But she also had the choice between becoming a curling professional and a golf professional.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
In summer, she plays golf all the time.
Yeah, like many of those British or English-speaking people, for whom golf is a very, very popular sport. On the continent, it's more an elite sport, but in Britain and the USA, it's a very popular sport, and she's apparently very, very good at it. She also plays bagpipes, typical Scottish instrument. So a girl who has many talents, and she decided to pick curling because that's where she had the most chances to participate in the Olympics. So the Olympic call.
So now we saw that the last row was a 0 point, because he doesn't hide the other 2 stones in the house. So she has now possibility to make an easy takeout.
Well, if she can make the perfect double, roll behind the guard, and actually leave her rock in the house, but she won't do that. Yeah. Having seen her play on a Hasselborg for quite a while, she and her team like the big weight takeout. They're usually pretty good, pretty accurate at it. There, maybe the ice was a bit wrong, or maybe she was a little bit inside. I don't know. The ice is very swingy, so it's the first end. Also, they have to get a bit used to the ice. But And now that guard actually is pretty useful for Muirhead because it's going to give her a good chance to steal. She already has a shot in the house.
So what would you do? What would you play now
I would
in this
just
situation?
draw behind that guard and the top 4 foot.
The pressure is on.
Yeah. I just want to say a little hello to Joachim Flieg, who's actually the lead, Hasselborg's lead, Sandra Flieg's brother. So we met in Fusen in the junior curling camp, so just a little hello, and hope you're enjoying the game. And I know you're cheering for your sister, so good luck.
Heavyweight.
So a little heavy indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And she has to be careful not to leave it double. Oh, this is actually a, yeah, not bad, but not good also, because
I think it's possible now.
I think the double is there if she can get it very thin. She can get it very thin. Yeah, I would go for the double. I mean,
definitely.
If you don't make it perfectly, you should not get more than one stolen on you, and even I really feel that she should be up for that shot. If she feels it, of course. She can also just draw. I mean, whatever she prefers. But I think knowing her, she's just looking at the double. Gonna throw a perfect rocket. Because of course that yellow rock at the back is hanging in the rings, so she can get a 2 out of that. So mission would be accomplished.
Yeah.
Very strange way, but it would be accomplished.
So what we can recognize in this end, in the first half, Eve Muirhead were in front, and now it's quite different. Now it's Hasselborg, who could ride for 2.
Yes. Yeah, it's really crazy how sometimes situations can change. I mean, like even Muirhead's draw is in the end like not that bad. I mean, she made it to the house in the right direction behind the guard, but it had to be short. It had to be in front of the tee line to force Anna Hasselborg for a tough draw. And now she actually has a double that I think is perfectly makeable for 2. And she likes those weights. She likes those shots.
Yeah.
Even though she
feels insecure, I think.
I don't know if she was laughing, but I really wonder what she was looking at.
Another talk with the wise skip.
Maybe she's wondering if
just a call for 1, the call for sure. We don't know.
Yeah, I think finally she's just looking at the draw, but I don't really like when the teams do that. I mean, they go up back and forth the ice. I mean, sometimes you just have to take your decision and play your shot, because you might lose your concentration if you start going up and down the ice. But anyway, we'll see what she does.
Final stone in the first end.
Yeah. Well, just going for the draw apparently.
Yeah.
So she's feeling her draw weight better. Well, it seems all right. The sweepers seem pretty confident. They just have to make sure it comes here perfectly.
Under control. Yeah.
Yes, and the line also. Good shot from Anna Hasselborg. She didn't take the risk to play the double, but I mean, no, we cannot blame her. This is also a perfectly valid shot to play. She's got her 1. She makes sure she takes the lead. Now they don't have hammer, but they can just force Eve Muirhead to score 1.
There are 7 other ends now.
Yeah, game is still long.
Yeah.
And despite being a bit in a complicated situation, finally they got their 1. They're on the scoreboard, and they can keep going in the second end.
I think I would have tried to go for 2, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you kind of sometimes you think. But if in the end you don't feel the shot, it's also the first end. Maybe just think we'll just make sure we get the point, then maybe get a 1 or 2 stolen on us. It's
easy to say it here in the warm office.
Of course, yes.
Sorry, bra spel. 80. Ja, bra. Lite bra spel.
Here's Claire Hamilton, lead for Muirhead. And they're calling it 2-3. They want a guard in front of the house, a corner guard. So this is a classical opening. Yeah. You get a rock into the house. Sadly, that yellow rock just ended up behind the tee line, but it's still there anyway. And the other team with last rock just plays a corner guard. Those guards can be very useful if you want to score 2.
Yeah, so it is.
Yeah. And Sandra Fleek throwing her second shot. She'll probably just try this time and be in front of the tee line, maybe in front of her own rock. She mustn't throw guard at it, otherwise she would offer a good freezing possibility for Muirhead, but she has to be in front of tee line. This is very important.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good shot. Good shot from Sandra Fleek.
Not too bad. In front of the tee line.
Heart sweeping. I think Scottish girls now are just trying to get rid of those bothering rocks in the middle. You know, of course you can play behind your corner guards, but you have also to try and get your middle. You have to get the middle rid of the opponent's shots. So that's what she tried to do. Maybe get the hit and roll, or just hit and stay in front of the yellow, which was not perfectly done. And this was Agnes Knochenhauer for Sweden.
Yeah, excellent.
A good hit and roll.
Not too bad.
Yeah, good shot, good
roll.
shot, good roll. Nice and far.
Yeah.
Even though it's really close to the tee line, she can, well, now of course Eve Muirhead's just going to ask for the freeze. If she freezes that perfectly, that would be a great shot. I mean, virtually impossible it would be virtually impossible to get that red rock out with that guard in front. So Vicky Adams. So they're calling it 7-8. That's tee line. A little bit. 7 is tee line. 8 is a bit above tee line. We can hear Muirhead grunting as this rock is just a little bit too fast and going right through the house.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweepers have those. They call, like we were actually answering that question in the noon game event at Norberg, where teams have numbers that they use to call the distance. The sweepers try and measure and think about where the rock is going to end, while the skip looks at the direction, and then the sweepers will say to the skip the speed. So to make it easier, they say usually numbers. So 1, 2, and 3 are guards. 1 is a short guard close to the hog line. 2 is a middle guard, and 3 is a guard close to the house. 4, 5, and 6 are the 3 first rings. 7 is tee line, and 8, 9, and 10 are further. So when you hear them call 8, 9, you would know that it's a rock that will probably end up behind the tee line. 7 would be on the tee line if you hear the sweepers call this kind of weight. So all those communication techniques are used by teams, you know, to make their life easier. It's very, very important to communicate properly from the sweepers to the skip.
Yeah.
And vice versa, of course. Oh, good double takeout. It's really too bad that rock couldn't stay in the house. But a nice double takeout.
So the end starts again.
Yeah. Well, it
Clear house.
seems like we might see a blanked end.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are absolutely no rocks in play, no guards. While there are still those 2 rocks at the back of the house that can be used for a freeze, you never know.
For example, yeah.
They can always be, you can draw in front of them and hope for a jam. Many things can happen in curling. It's a very uncertain game. You know, you can think you're in a really good situation, then suddenly you miss a rock, the other guy makes a really nice shot, and the situation can be totally turned over. You can find yourself in deep trouble just after 2 rocks. So nothing is ever acquired in curling, just like in all the sports.
So I ask myself, why did she play the rock in the middle?
Well,
why not on the side, for example?
Yeah. Well,
I think it's much easier to hit the rock in the middle than when the stone would be on the side.
Yeah, it's possible. Well, it really depends. I mean, what they prefer. Maybe they just want to test the ice.
Yeah, they want to end.
Or knowing that they don't have the last rock, they're just thinking about putting it in the middle, because when you don't have last rock, you try and play in the middle. So, well, we saw Anna Sloan hit and roll out. So this is a half-made shot. Well, she's lucky also the yellow didn't jam onto the red at the back. It could have maybe stayed in the rings, offering Hasselborg the chance for 2, but it didn't. So now Karen Rutström is going to draw again in the house. Nothing much is happening in those ends, but the players are using them, you know, without any pressure to test their draw weights, to get the ice right for takeouts, because everything is open, so you can just go for open shots, easy shots that you will focus and try and make to get yourself accurate for the next ends, where maybe the situations will be a bit more complicated and you will need to be very precise on your weights and on your ice reading.
We could recognize that they started very offensive, and then they failed with 1, 2, 3 rocks, and then it changes again in the defensive game.
I think it was a miss from Claire Hamilton who changed the course of the end, because there was that corner guard permitting some offense with her draw who went through the house. Then it allowed Anna Hasselborg to get rid of that rock. I mean, she's 1 up. She doesn't need to take any risk.
Yeah.
So just peeling that guard away makes the house clear. She would have had 2 shots, but after we had a really good double, so allowing a good possibility for a blank end.
Right.
Now I think it's Anna Hasselborg's turn to play.
Deras slirade ut lite när de stod på där. Fast det var lite längre ut, men det går rätt bra. Jag tror det är jättebra, absolut.
First rock for her.
8,5. Ska vi vicka på den?
This is a very
nice
shot. Yeah. Just very nice shot. She nearly ended up perfectly frozen.
Yeah. Not very easy.
Yeah, well, I don't think Muirhead's going to miss this shot. It's not going to stop her from getting rid of that yellow, even though it's in front of the other yellow. But it was really close. Good shot. Now Muirhead's going to go for the takeout. Maybe she can stay a certain way with rocks behind. We'll see. I think she's just not going to take any risk. Make sure she hits the yellow in the right spot.
Weight is under control.
Yeah, the sweepers are not. Oh, she just missed the. Oh, she was maybe just trying to get that rock a little bit too much on the inside.
That wasn't the plan.
Yeah,
definitely not.
No, well, I mean, misses don't happen often, but when they happen, you need to take advantage of them. And now Hannah Hasselborg will just need to draw another one into the house and force even your head for one, an unexpected one. Yeah. It's probably the first time that she throws, I think. Well, yes, it is the first time that she throws inside out this side of the ice, so she probably got tricked a little bit by the ice, or maybe she didn't aim very well. Sometimes you can think the rock curls a lot from inside out, but it straightens out maybe at the end. And then finally you don't curl as much as you want it to.
I could transmit my thoughts to her, and now she plays that what I said before.
Yeah. So she just has to make sure that rock's in the house. Well, she should be able to have her draw weight. Knowing that she just drew the house before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if your skip has got to be able to draw the house all the time, especially the 4-foot, just like this, big T-line. And now Eve is going to take it out and stay for one. So if she mustn't roll out, otherwise she leaves a one for Anna Hasselborg. That would be a steal. So just a hit and stay.
Hit and stay, right.
And I think this time she will not miss the rock.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
that's not.
Fair. Hopefully
I know,
not.
I know.
Yeah.
That's not fair. No. She will do it.
Yeah. So control weight. And she's no sweeping, clean.
Sounds good.
It sounds pretty good. Even your head doesn't seem very stressed about that shot. And bang on the nose. 1-1. Even your head versus Anna Hasselborg from Sweden.
So what can we say after 2 ends?
Well, tight game at least, that's for sure, and that's good. Tighter the better. That's what we hope for. We want to see 8 good ends. And so now I suppose that maybe the teams are going to try and play a little bit more offensively. We expect even Muirhead to start with a center guard in the next end to try and create a little bit of offense. We'll see if Anna Hasselborg goes for a corner guard or a draw behind the guard. But if ever even Muirhead goes in the house, we can expect Anna Hasselborg to ask for a corner guard. So we will see classical openings. So once again,
they made the plan for the next end.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, usually before the end, you decided the team strategy. That means the strategy, what do you want? Do you want to make sure you score 2? Do you want to blank the end? Do you want to go really offensive or a controlled risk? Do you want to start with a corner guard or just play in the house? That's the strategy of the end that you're deciding on. And then the tactics will be made along the end, seeing how the situation goes. I mean, every end is totally different.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. So probably 2, yes. So I think that they're just playing for the center guard. Yeah, 2-3. So a 3. So as we know, it's very important.
It's a biter.
I think it's a biter, indeed. Yeah, or maybe, not sure, maybe it's a measure. No, I think it's a biter, and Hasselborg didn't hesitate very long. We can see Claire Hamilton a bit disappointed with her shot. Yeah, we know it's very important to, if you want to play a guard at the start, it's very important to put it in front of the house because there's that free guard zone rule. You're not allowed to take rocks out in front of the house before the first shot of the second. So knowing that that rock is biting the house, it just needs to touch an inch, a millimeter or something. It's enough to be allowed to take it out. And so that's exactly what they did, but I think they didn't want to stay on the nose. Maybe they wanted to roll a bit on the side anyway. They got rid of that red rock. It's better to have a yellow there than a red anyway. So not too bad, even though it's not exactly what they wanted. But and now Eve is just going to go for the draw behind.
What did Eve play up here? 87. Much the same line, so 95? Eve is 3? 3, I think.
You can hear Anna Sloan talking to the thrower and the sweeper about what shot Eve played the last time here. And so that's all about the communication in the team. You know, you want to get everything very precise. And you call it 8-9. That's, again, probably a little bit too fast. That's a little bit behind the tee line, or not. Or maybe they changed their mind.
Lots of room,
I think. Yeah, finally, it's just 8, just behind the tee line.
behind the tee line.
So, yeah, it's always a bit annoying when your lead doesn't make their shots properly, because that's, you know, like we said before, you decided the tactics at the end. I mean, do you want to play offensive? If you want to play offensive, that means have a lot of rocks in play. You need to start with guards, because you're not allowed to take them off at the start. So if your lead doesn't place the guards properly, the whole tactics of the end can just be messed up. So it's always very important to have the lead placing the rocks properly to get the end started the way you want it to. So anyway, one guard, one center guard that's positive for Eve Muirhead, one rock that's open.
I think
just asking for the hit and roll.
this last rock wasn't the plan. I think
Maybe
they wanted to play hit and roll behind the guard.
Or maybe on the side also, because it was behind the tee line.
Could be possible as well, yeah.
Just try and keep the game clear from the center.
Barrier! Easy barrier! Whoa, off, barrier! Close! Whoa! Close! Other way! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Go, 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 go! Good.
Almost hidden.
Du ser halva, va? Ja. Bara spela så. Ja. Marginal ticka och dela. Ja. Säker hack. Säker hack. Marginal dela.
Another draw behind the guard. And to remove the red rock.
So we have an email from Ivars Avotins from Latvia, who says that people in Riga are watching the game. So we want to say hello to all our Latvian friends. They're actually one of the upcoming nations in curling. They've got the Team Gilbis, who's a very strong team. We've seen them in Champéry last year. Played very well. They were at the European Championships and did a good results. So, well, it's going to be nice to see you guys play in Champéry again this year. That will be in 2 weeks, and it will be also broadcasted on Laola TV. So hello to all our Latvian friends, our Latvian curlers. And again, so we just received an email, so if you ever want to send some more emails with questions and comments, don't hesitate to send us at live@curlingchampionstour.org, the address that you can see at the bottom right of your screen. So once again, a pretty defensive end. Teams are not taking particularly many risks. There is still one guard in play that can allow maybe the game at the end to change. Maybe
Yeah.
they're going to start
Defensive
attacking a little bit
game
more.
behind the T-line.
Yeah. Well, we know Anna Hasselborg's a pretty defensive team. They like to hit. Even Muirhead right now doesn't need to take any risk particularly. So just keep the game tight, and you never know what can happen.
Control down. Whoa.
As long as the game is tight, you have better chance to win as if you're losing by 4. So
So it is.
Hard. Go, go, go. Okay, good hand. Sorry, Claire. Good, good.
Next call is a back takeout to the back line.
Jump. Plus. Jump. Ja. Ja. Hårt. Hårt. Hela vägen. Hårt, 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 Sandra. Sorry.
And this rock, this call wasn't the plan as well. So now, next call will be behind the guard.
yeah, so now we might switch to more offensive end now that there are no rocks in play but just the guard. If that rock comes properly behind the guard, if it's in front or behind the tee line, we might assist to a freeze right after that shot. So Anna Sloan has got to make sure that she's behind the guard, but especially in front of the tee line.
Nice way, 6. Yep, for line. That's good. You've got to go for line. 6.
And apparently line's a little bit tight, a lot of sweeping,
Hard for line.
yelling and sweeping. Are they going to make it past the
No.
guard? It seems
Yeah.
really slow. Oh, and we can see Anna Sloan a little bit disgusted with her own shot. Anyway, so now this is actually quite a good opportunity for Anna Hasselborg. She can maybe try and split that yellow rock or just go behind like she showed. Splitting is actually not, from my humble point of view, is actually a pretty good shot to play because you get 2 rocks in the house that are splitted.
Right. Could be the last opportunity
Yeah.
with the last call.
Or, yeah, seems like Ines Knochenhauer's thought about that shot. But anyway, a draw behind is also a possibility. You can keep this split for later, maybe, if you still have that chance to play it. And again, the draw has to be in front of the tee line. This is very important again, otherwise Eve Muirhead will just have to freeze on it and put Anna Hasselborg in a complicated situation.
Actually, it's a very interesting situation. Either you come around, or when you hit like this one, you could make for 2, but in this situation just 1 is in house. But the other yellow stone still half open.
Try and get like right back.
Okay, barrier. Anna had one up here and it moved a fair bit, so I think 60 should be pretty close.
Right.
Next call is takeout.
Yep.
Hit and roll, I think.
Hard! Hard! Go for the piece hard! Okay.
No, just over curled now.
So we're sorry just to say the colors before were wrong. Muirhead is playing the red rocks and Hasselborg the yellow rocks, so we've just changed that. Sorry for the confusing mistake, but now everything's fine. And thank you for your comments to notify that to us. And Oscar Eriksson from Sweden is asking who are commentating. Well, I'm Roger Gulka, so you know me, Oscar. Don't worry, we played a World Junior final, one against each other. So anyway, hello. I hope you're doing well. And congratulations for your win in Basel last week with all your team. I saw your final and you played really good. It was nice to watch and nice to see you guys win, even though it was against a Swiss team. And I'm commentating with Michael Lips, who played World Championships in 88 and 90 and a European Championship with a bronze medal in 1991, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, he's also the brother of Thomas Lips that we all know. He also participated in the European Championships.
So it is my younger brother Thomas, who is now coaching the Russian team.
Yeah, Russian women's team. So he's there watching somewhere, coaching the successful Russian team who won their, I think they won their 3 first games yesterday, and they're already through the quarterfinals tomorrow at 8 a.m. So we will be watching and commentating, and I hope that you guys are also going to be waking up early to watch the games.
Nice shot behind the guard, but behind the T-line. So next rock can be played very easy.
10. Maybe an inch more. Okay, think so.
I gave you that for draw shot.
Okay. 10.
Yep.
Positive.
Yep. Nice mate, 7. All line. All line.
Line's good. Just you go for weight.
Weight is under control.
Just for weight.
7. Off.
Line's good. Just
It's
for
coming
weight.
now. It's coming
Now.
now.
Up to you.
Oh.
It's coming, a lot of room.
Whoa, freeze it.
Weight is not too bad.
Yeah, especially the direction is really good.
Yeah.
Good freeze.
Just weight.
And we'll have trouble to get rid of that rock. She'll just have to draw on it.
Hon hade nog tagit sin plats annars. Ja, vi gick ganska nära. Jag tar lite till.
Bara inte blir tyngre om jag kommer ut så, men det tror jag inte va?
And this is her last shot.
Tror inte det.
So we'll draw for 1.
Har ökat isen lite.
Ta vart då.
Yes. 92 hade jag.
Final stone in the third end.
Yeah. The usual skips rock once again. To draw the 4 foot for a point. Lots of yelling. Is it going to curl too much?
Oh, it curls so much.
Oh, maybe is it going to make it through? It's very tight on the rock.
Oh.
And they just managed to sweep it hard enough to get
Yeah.
it perfectly past. And that's a really nice shot from Anna
Nice shot.
Hasselborg. She got the draw. She got the weight perfectly. We saw in the last game this morning against Annette Norberg against the Russian team of Olga Zyablikova, who had roughly the same shot to play, and she was much too short. And here Anna Hasselborg actually made sure that her weight was hard enough, and the sweepers just had to make sure the line was right, which they made. They swept it hard the whole way, and it came perfectly around the guard. You can see it well in that image. And that's a good shot. So 1 point, so 2-1 for Sweden against Scotland, skipped by Eve Muirhead. So we're going to start the next end, maybe with the center guard. And once again, if you have any questions or comments, you can write to us at live@curlingchampionstore.org. We'll be really happy to answer your questions live on LaLa1.tv. This is the Women's Masters in Basel. Basel, Switzerland. And we're watching here the C Road game to qualify for the quarterfinals of this tournament. So of course we didn't say already, but the loser of this game is out of the competition, and the winner is going to go through the quarterfinals. So this is a big game for those teams in this tournament. It is a triple knockout tournament, so that means that if you lose 3 times, you're out. So both these teams have already lost 2 games, won all the other ones to make it up to the final of the C Road. So there's an A Road where all the teams start, and the losers go down to the B Road, which is another table that you can win and qualify in the quarterfinals. And if you lose another game, then you drop into the C Road, which is what we're watching here. And if you lose that 3rd game, that's what's called a triple knockout tournament. That means three losses, you're knocked out. So you mustn't lose more than 2 games if you want to have a chance to play the quarterfinals. Then after, it's just a normal quarterfinal, semifinal, final tournament. So you can win all your first games, win the A Road, and then lose the quarterfinal and be out. So we had 3 teams qualifying from the A Road. The Russian team with Anna Sidorova, the Swedish team of Siegfriedsen, and the Swiss team of Silvana Tirinzoni. So hard sweeping there. We see that the Swedish team has got a pretty defensive tactic. They play their rocks in the house to start the end. Muirhead plays this corner guard, which is a calculated risk. I mean, you just play 1 rock in front, so you have a chance to score 2, but you don't jam the house too much with rocks. Keep it reasonably easy. I mean, sometimes getting a 2, to get a 2, you don't need to have that many rocks in play. I mean, just 1 guard is enough. And Claire Hamilton
hidden stick.
Yes.
The defensive game starts again, but I think they will play the hit and roll behind the guard.
That's a good shot.
Hidden stick again.
Yeah. Doesn't seem particularly pleased with it, but it's still all right. I mean, mission number 1 was to get rid of that red rock, so that's done. She didn't get the roll. At least there's still lying 2 in the house. Of course, the Muirhead's not gonna ask herself too many questions. She's just gonna try again the hit and roll, and this time Vicky Adams is gonna try and get it right. The Scottish second. And we have a nice comment from Harold Horton from Canada. He's living in Edmonton in Alberta. And so thank you for your comment. I see you're enjoying the game and the commentary, so thank you very much for sharing that with us. And I hope you're enjoying the game, that you'll enjoy more games tomorrow with us on Laula TV. You're broadcasting 3 games, the quarterfinal, the semifinal, and the final. And so we're saying a little hello to all our Canadian friends who are watching us. Canada, of course, the greatest nation in curling right now.
So it is, and I ask myself, are you Tim Horton's brother?
Tim Hortons, for those who know Canada a bit, is probably the best donut shop ever in the world. And yeah, Canada, a very impressive nation. Curling has been invented in Scotland, but the leading nation now in curling is Canada with over 1 million curlers. That's more than the rest of the world together. They've got the best teams. They've got a number of teams that can win the World Championship. That's really impressive. And especially from Alberta, on those prairie provinces. And also, if there's other friends from North America and the U.S. watching us, well, we'll also sing a little hello. It's nice to have people from all around the world watching curling here in Switzerland. We've got nice facilities, nice ice, and a high-level curling tournament here with really 2 top-level teams, Anna Hasselborg and Eve Muirhead. 2 world junior champions playing against each other. And so we're really happy we can broadcast this game for you.
So I think the game will start about in the 6th or 7th end.
Yeah. Well, right now the teams are not taking too many risks.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
I think it will depend on actually Hasselborg maybe with the day when she's gonna, well, the end maybe when she's gonna decide to go more offensive. If she does, of course, she can win the game by playing defensively. That's not a problem as long as you win. That's the most important in the end, right? Maybe if Eve Muirhead scores a 2, then she's going to try a little bit harder to score 2 when she has last rock. We'll see. Anyway, for now on, she's keeping the game tight. And while the game is tight, I mean, it's always interesting to follow because anything can happen in curling. And Anna Sloan playing. She was a world champion with Eve Muirhead in 2011 in Perth. And I think also in 2009 in Vancouver. She's actually one of the most successful curlers in Scotland, Anna Sloan.
Yeah, right.
She won the World Championships 2 or 3 times. But she also won the Universiade Championships, and she also won the IOF, the European Youth Olympics, in 2007 in Poland. Yeah. So 1 gold medal at the IOF, 1 gold medal at the University Games. She played the European Mixed Curling Championships, the European Curling Championships twice with a gold medal and a silver medal, the World Junior Curling Championships 3 times with 2 gold medals, and she played the World Curling Championships twice, but still doesn't have a medal around her neck, but it will probably soon come. She's playing with Eve Muirhead, also one of the most successful skips there is, at least in juniors, with 4 gold medals at the World Junior Curling Championships. That's a really impressive result.
It curled too much, this situation.
Yeah. Still leaving Hasselborg with a tricky takeout on the side. Sometimes, you know, you don't play very much on that far out on the corner of the ice, so sometimes the ice can be a little bit more frosty, a little bit more unpredictable. So it's always a little bit more tricky to do, for example, a hit and stay.
That's an important point, that you have to manage it during the game. The ice changes during the game, and so it's all the time new situation, and as skip you have to manage it. That's not very easy all the time.
And Harold Horton telling us that he is not related to Tim Horton, but he would have wished
Thank
to.
you.
I quite understand. That would have meant free
Thank you,
donuts
Harold.
for life. But anyway, doesn't stop you from going to Tim Hortons anyway. And thank you once again for your comments and for answering that very, very important question.
Right. That.
For Claire's corner, it's giving her that.
And so like we said, it's always a little tricky to play like this on the sides, and we saw Anna Hasselborg hitting and rolling out.
Okay, the top 12, they can just go at the end.
Now leaving Eve Muirhead the possibility to now finally use her corner guard. This is when they come in handy. You can just draw behind them and try and hope to get your 2. Important shot, important first shot for Eve Muirhead. With all her experience,
15, yeah.
even at her young age.
Young and very talented.
Yeah. Her second season
And
as an
successful
adult.
as well.
Yeah. Successful, young and talented,
Yeah.
of course. And a lot of experience for a young age. I mean, 4 world championships, world junior championships,
right.
already a participation at the Olympic Games as she was only 19 skipping. They didn't have a really good result there, but I mean, building on the future, we'll see what it's going to look like in Vancouver, in Sochi 2014. So I think that rock's just open. Yeah, I think it's half open. Anna Hasselborg can probably see more than half of it from the other side. So she's just going to come hack weight, hit and lie 2, forcing then Eve Muirhead to score only 1 with her last rock, which is again the mission. I mean, force the other one to score only 1 with his last shot when he has hammer, and you try to score 2 when you have hammer.
Sten har ju gått väldigt rakt där.
Ja, men utan annars är nästan start.
Precis, så det är den jag nästan går på.
Ja.
För den släppte linan.
Ja, precis.
Så säkert så här.
Ja, bra.
Focused Anna Hasselborg. Important shot.
Lite plus!
Is it going to be a 1, a 2, or a 0? See the look, no sweeping at all. It has to curl, and it has to stay. It looks fine. Will it stay in the house? Anna Sloan sweeping as hard as she can to get that rock out, and she does, and it's going to be a blanked end, very certainly. Just too bad for Anna Hasselborg from Sweden. And now Eve Muirhead is just going to blank the end, keep the last rock for the 5th end, and try and score 2 if she has a chance later. Yeah, curling is a game of patience.
Definitely, yeah, right. Going for the clear.
Clean, yep. Clean.
So you can just hear her say clean, clean.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Happens from time to time that rocks get picks. And little pieces of dirt on the ice can, like the rock can slide over them, and then if they slide over a piece of dirt, then the rock can just change the trajectory in a totally unpredictable way, and usually your shot is missed. Sometimes it happens. You can be very lucky with the pick, but it's more often that it makes you totally fail your rock, so the sweepers just clean in front of the rock to make sure that nothing can go be under the rock to change its direction.
Jag skulle gärna ta lite till kanske på den här stenen. 90. Och lägga om den här då. 85 lite. Jag tror att det är mycket att jag lägger om den.
So we start in the next end.
Yep. So here's the 5th end. We've passed half the game now at the Women's Curling Masters in Basel. I'm Roger Golka, commentating with Michael Lips on laula1.tv.
Börja med den stack i handen. Den bara stack i handen.
And we have a mail from Daryl Horseman, who is Canadian but who lives in Arizona, in Phoenix. And he plays curling over there. He's the skip of the Arizona's men's team. And of course he says it's an unlikely place for curling. But he helped to start the club 10 years ago, so congratulations, Daryl, for spreading curling even in the desert. Well, it's also a place, actually they have an NHL franchise in Phoenix, the Phoenix Coyotes, so there is a little bit of ice games over there, even though it's very strange. And he's going to be playing in Las Vegas. So I suppose you're going to be playing and going to the casino, going to the casino, right? I think that's good life. The Margarita Bonspiel, and there are going to be a lot of European teams apparently in this tournament. Quite a few from Switzerland and England. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So
interesting.
That's good news. Maybe we should do that tournament one day, I suppose, right? So looking forward to play European teams. Yeah, it's always nice, I think, when I remember I went to Canada a few times, to play tournaments, and for Canadian teams it's quite rare for them to play against foreign teams. So it's always a nice occasion for us also to play good Canadian teams who've got a lot of experience, play a very high level. On the opposite, they get to see European curling, how it's played. It's, I mean, when I went to the World Championships, it was always quite interesting to see the Canadian teams often played for the first time against some foreign teams. I mean, we had a team from Saskatchewan, and they only play against Canadian teams. So sometimes it's quite strange for them to come and play against European teams where we are actually quite used to playing against other nations. I mean, like we know Europe is a pretty small continent. I mean, we go play sometimes in Scotland. People come and play in Switzerland or in Norway, Sweden, and Germany. And so we're used to playing against foreign teams. And sometimes the international pressure that Canadian teams have, we're actually quite used to it. So sometimes it makes the competition quite interesting because they always have really tough teams, but they're not used to playing foreign teams. On top of that, playing for Canada is always quite a lot of pressure. But they all usually do always well in the end. It's very rare that Canada messes up some world championships. So anyway, thank you for that comment, and well, I hope you'll have a good tournament in Las Vegas. And it's good that you launched some curling in the USA. They also have quite a few good curlers over there. I'm thinking about Pete Fenson, who won a bronze medal at the Olympics in Turin in 2006, beating David Murdoch from Scotland in the bronze medal game. A very, very intense game. Remember, a lot of nice shots, triple takeouts, raised doubles, raised triples, etc. It was really nice to see. And also at the women's, I'm thinking about Debbie McCormick, a very successful curler. She's played a lot of world championships, Olympic games.
So what do you think, Roger? Shall we make plans for the next season to play a tournament in Las Vegas? Are you with me?
Yeah, okay, that works. That works. I'm 21 now, so so that's fine. I can go to the USA now.
Yeah. So we write the fifth end, and now it starts to.
Yeah, it's getting quite interesting right now. Quite a few
very
rocks in play.
Offensive,
yeah.
Interesting.
Everything is played behind those guards. Sorry, this guard in the center.
It's more interesting for the spectators to have offensive game.
Yeah, and Eve has got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because with that center guard, it's very dangerous rock for her. She has last rock, so usually when you have last rock, you try and keep the center open to leave yourself an open shot. on your last rock. I mean, if you're in trouble, you can always score your 1, and if you're fine, you can always maybe score your 2 or more if you're lucky. It depends what happens. So she's just going to peel that guard off because it's dangerous for her. Perfectly understandable, even though she's lying shot behind. And even though it can sound strange maybe for people who don't know about curling who are watching for the first time, but actually this guard is dangerous and their rock in the middle is behind the tee line, so if ever Hasselborg manages to freeze on it, it would be very complicated for Muirhead to get it out, especially if it's blocked in front. And Vicky Adams made the peel perfectly. I think she was maybe trying to go for a double takeout. And apparently it's a bit cold in the ice rink. Yeah, it's always a bit tough to be the skip because you're just standing on one side of the ice and you never sweep. You don't move very much, so you get cold. As the sweepers, you see they're all in t-shirts because they sweep, and that's the real physical part of curling. You know, always hear critics, curling's not a sport, it's not physical.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Try and sweep for 30 seconds without stopping and while you're moving as hard as you can, and you'll see if curling's not physical.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you do an average of 2 kilometers by going back and forth the ice in one game. So a lot of movement.
But it's well possible to lose 2 or 3 liters of sweat during one game.
Yeah, you always have to make sure you get enough to drink during those games. You know, you get an energy drink that refuels you. Get a little sip between each end, and sometimes drink a little bit more when you can. Get dehydrated. It's always tough actually to play those tournaments because I mean, playing one game of curling is perfectly possible, even if you're tired, etc. But I mean, when you have to play 5, 6, 7, 8 or more games even in one weekend, you're totally exhausted at the end. I mean,
yeah, right.
I mean, I remember trips going home, and everybody's sleeping in the car, because it's not only, of course, physically tough, but mentally tough. So you get tired mentally. You always have to stay focused. There's a lot of pressure on.
And on Monday you had to go to work or to the university.
That's always tough. That's tough the Monday morning, yeah. I remember those. So another peel from Vicky Adams. And actually Anna Hasselborg in a pretty good situation right now. She's got that yellow rock in front of the forefoot, in front of the tee line, in the forefoot. She can always use later on. She can guard. She's got many options. She's in control of the end because she has the rock in the control zone. Control zone being the zone in front of the forefoot circle, that little red circle in the middle. All what's in front of the tee line, that line so crossing the house, cutting the house in 2 horizontally there. All what's in front of that forefoot circle in front of the tee line is what we call a control zone. If you have rocks here, you usually control the end. It's always important to have your rocks in front of the tee line. I think we've said that. We didn't say that enough times anyway.
Yeah.
Always you see rocks behind the tee line are always a problem for the teams.
Definitely. Yeah. 0 points behind the tee line, we said.
Yeah.
Jag tycker vi bara ska klippa den. Jag vet inte. Alltså det enda alternativet vi har för att klippa, det är att gadda. Men du kan inte gadda när de ligger 1, för då lägger de ju bara den. Eller den. Förstår du vad jag menar? För även om vi skulle lägga den där, alltså då kan de ju bara typ spela en ganska
A lot of discussion now.
Det blir väldigt trångt och ganska svårt.
This is actually a pretty important shot now. Is she just going to guard or try and play maybe in the middle?
Yeah, could be a key shot in this end.
Key shot, yeah. And it's Karin Rutström to play. And Hasselborg's third. Seems like she's going for a peel. Just try and peel that red rock away. I wonder if it's just a little bit too early maybe in the end to go for a shot like this, because she maybe would leave Eve Muirhead with a double takeout or something. I would have been maybe tempted to guard another time. Just to try and waste Eve Muirhead's rock with peels. On top of that, this is quite a difficult shot to play, especially on swingy ice. Yeah, I was not very convinced with this call.
Yeah,
personally. I mean, of course, if it was made, it would have been made. It would have been nice, but I don't know if what would have been left after would have been such an advantage for Anna Hasselborg. She would have still had a rock behind T-line. Maybe a possible double for Eve Muirhead. I think guarding would have been probably the best solution. Anyway, the situation is what it is now.
I don't mind that. But then if she rolls one right on
Just there's going to be a...
Anna Hasselborg likes to hit when she has the
Yeah, yeah.
even if you were to go,
Do you like a freeze?
And of course, you always want to try and see.
that's pretty good if
You always want to see maybe
I think
which is the best shot to play, not only for the result, but sometimes with the
I think if we're going
how hard it is. I mean, sometimes you know you can play an easier shot that would have also a pretty good result instead of going for the really tough shot.
Oh, I know.
And this shot was much more complicated than the guard that they already played a few times.
You can afford to bump it a little bit.
And especially there, the result was really not what they wanted to.
Afford to bump that.
So what would you do, play?
Well, I think that like what she's showing
Yeah.
there is probably a good solution. I mean, if she freezes on the nose of her own rock, then it's going to be really tough for.
Yeah.
I mean, if Anna Hasselborg won't be able to hit on them,
So I think we go here.
so if she just sits there right on the nose,
Freeze on the shot would be the key shot, I think.
I think that would be good.
she doesn't err on the lighter side here.
Eve Muirhead always with an intense look in her eyes,
Mm-hmm.
very focused, very determined mind.
I think she feels very insecure.
Yeah.
It's better
So
being there
show
than
us your talent.
And a
Show
slow.
us your experience now.
That's what I was getting. So is that good? 10, 15. Was that what you were getting? Yeah, to come right in. Okay. Take your time.
And Sloan
Nice, mate. 7, 8.
Looks lots from here.
8, 9. No.
also very intense look, very focused.
No.
Lots from here.
Huge
9.
line.
No sweeping at all.
9.
It has to curl. It has to be on the nose. This is very important.
Yep.
Otherwise, she could even leave a bad double for Anna Hasselborg, who, like we saw, likes to hit.
Roll it. Go, 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 go.
Hard.
Hard, hard, hard.
So, well, it's not such a bad shot, I'd say.
Sorry. It's okay.
Results not great,
sure it was
but
there.
I know.
it's not that bad. I mean, the rock is
Yeah.
still in the house. It's open.
I don't know
She
what.
has 3 shots in.
Mm-hmm.
That yellow is never going to count.
I can answer this question after the next rock.
Yeah. We'll see now what Hasselborg plays. I would be tempted maybe to play the freeze again.
Mm-hmm.
This time, stick it perfectly.
That got him.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe she's looking at some hit again.
Får jag spela andra handen?
Ja.
Yeah. Well, we see she likes to hit.
Vart är träffen?
Jag bara, den är väldigt...
Interesting
Det borde
end
finnas.
behind the T-line. Behind the T-line again, unfortunately.
Så.
Yeah. Up for the hit again.
Jag funderar på om det
Yes.
var mer. Ska vi fråga eller?
Again, once again, I'm not particularly convinced with this shot. She can maximum get a double. She cannot get the 3 of them out, I think.
Det är ganska
Definitely not.
släppkänsligt.
The angles are not right.
Vill
And
du ha lite
she,
till?
okay, if she makes the double on the reds, she will roll out for sure. If she doesn't, she could even get rid of her own yellow, roll out, and leave 2 reds in the house, which would set up Eve Muirhead for a 3-ender. And even if she makes the perfect double and rolls out, then Eve Muirhead will have an open shot for 2, July 2.
Guld, Karin.
Oh.
Kör, mamma. Kör, mamma.
Yeah.
Bra,
Just
Karin.
didn't
Bra,
make it as
Karin.
she
Bra
wanted.
där.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 calls I'm not particularly agreeing with.
Yeah. Wait, what do you get from
You want to be like 5 here.
Yeah, so a 2-ender set up now for Eve Muirhead, except if something goes wrong.
Just 107. Where do we want to be?
Here.
So now what happens in those kinds of situations is that you just throw another rock in the house on the other side, on the opposite side of where you're lying shot. So here it would be on the right side of the house. So Sloan just with a normal draw, probably to the tee line. So you don't leave any, at least no easy double.
Oh.
Right.
It's good.
Play on the sides.
It's good.
Make
It's
sure.
good.
It's very important just to be in the house. It doesn't really matter how far, how shot you are, etc. You just need really to be in the house. This is the objective number 1.
Yep. Hard.
If you can get at the same level, like, yeah, roughly how they are now, this is also very good. So no possible double. The best Anna Hasselborg can do is hit and roll as close as she can to that red shot, and if possible be shot.
Alltså jag hade ju is där på Agnes på en sten. Nej, på... Alltså nu tycker jag bara vi ska stå och vicka.
Will she play it now for the double?
I don't think she will. It's
I don't think so. Yeah.
it's better just to try and hit and stay and hope for Eve Muirhead to hit and roll out. I mean,
Är det 8 eller?
Ja. Jag tycker att det är ganska jämnt och fint tal ändå.
anyway, it starts to look like Eve Muirhead should be scoring a
Jag funderar lite på isen.
2-ender now.
Alltså det går ju rakt liksom innanför. Men din curlade ju fint där. Ja, och dragningarna curlade ju.
So we will see.
Ja, och din curlade
It's very important, I think, for Anna Hasselborg to hit and stay in the house. I think there's more likely to have a hit and roll out than a missed draw at that level, especially at that point of the game. In the 5th end, I think everybody's got their draw weight now. The sweepers know the speed, the skip 2. They can communicate on the, be very precise in their speed communications. Hard sweeping. Is she going to stay in the house? And no, she doesn't. And you see Anna Hasselborg, again, very disappointed with that shot.
Very
Like I
disappointed.
said, it was very important to hit and stay.
Yeah.
And Eve Muirhead is getting much closer to her 2. Strange end.
Yeah.
Very offensive at the
Strange end
start.
again.
Very offensive at the start.
Yeah.
And finally, there will be only 3 rocks in play, like 2 right now, and 1 more probably because Eve Muirhead should be making her shot in the house. It's a cold draw.
Where? 8. You want it 8? 8, 9. 8, 9. Up to you.
8, 9. You've got to be back here. You've
Yeah.
got to be
back
deep.
here,
They wanna They want to be level with that rock they have in the house at the same height, so they call it 8, 9.
Better be deep. Better be deep.
It looks fine.
Yep.
Is it going to stay in the rings this
Yeah.
time? Yes, it will. That's a good shot. Perfect.
Perfect shot.
Perfect shot. I mean,
Ja, den där blir...
just the cold draw. She made it exactly how she wanted. 8, 9 behind the tee line at the same level. Then her other red rock in the house. And now Anna Hasselborg will have to hit and stay in the house
Ja, vi måste tjaffa för att bli skott.
and hope that Eve Muirhead hits and rolls out. Of course, she has to stay, and she has to stay shot. She has to stay closer to the button than the red rock.
Gud, Karin höll på att skrämma mig. Hon bara, vadå, vill du slå? Jag bara, ja. Så här, hon fattade inte, hon tänkte inte att det var sist. Ja. 8!
Lite mer is.
Jag funderar på också på mer, vad tror du?
Jag tror också sådär.
Ja, bra.
Alla är överens.
The other option would be a perfect freeze to the shot.
Du är med på
So
att
if
eller?
Muirhead would have a very difficult call to play. But now she makes takeout.
Stopp! Ja, hårt! Rent hårt! Ja! Hårt! 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 Ligger bra! Hårt!
They sweep very hard. No?
It looks fine.
Looks fine, yeah.
It is. Right, so now it's Eve's turn to play the exact same shot.
Take your time.
Final stone in the fifth end, going for 2 stones
Take your time.
for Eve Muirhead.
Important shot. She has that chance. She has to grab it. She might not have many other chances. Scored 2, so she has to take those she has. Very focused.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. Hard.
Oh, a lot of sweeping.
Hard. Go, 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 go.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, it's tricky on the sides, to play a good hit and stay, like we were saying. You know, sometimes the ice can be a little bit unpredictable on the sides. Well, all right. 2-2. Could have been a 3-2, but it is 2-2, so you have to play with that. Yeah. So finally, Hasselborg, not too bad after this, say, strange end. Started very offensively, then a lot of hitting. Finally, just an open hit and stay for 2, but it was on
Yeah.
the side. It was complicated. And Muirhead just hit and rolled out. Despite the heart sweeping from her 2 sweepers, Vicky Adams and Claire Hamilton, and the yelling from Anna Sloan.
just on rock descent.
And so now,
She can be very lucky, actually.
well, it's actually always nice for the morale. I mean, if
Mhm.
the other team can score 2, and if they don't make it, if they don't take their chance, you know, you can think like, whew, yeah, we're fine now. Maybe we've got to, I mean, you know, you feel better. I mean, somehow,
Yeah.
while the other team can be a little bit down mentally, thinking, oh, we had a good chance to score 2, we didn't take it, la la la. So what Team Scotland has to do is not to bother about that, leave that for the past, and focus on the next end, because that's the only thing they can change now is what's going to happen in the future. They cannot change what has been done in the past. So they have to make sure they stay focused and in the game. It's still very tight. They can still win it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
But I remember big points must be made, and
Yeah.
this would be was the chance for 2 stones, and
Yeah.
unfortunately she almost missed the hit.
yeah, well, that's what we say now. You just have to forget about it. Like, we can talk about the missed hit, but they have to forget about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it mustn't be in their head anymore. Just focus about playing the next
Right.
end properly. Hasselborg has to make sure that they also stay focused. I mean, all right, even your head didn't score 2 doesn't mean that next time she will not score 2. So they have to stay focused now.
Håll igång. Kör upp. 12. Ja, kör du. 12. Hårt. Det är bra.
Hake. Hake.
Kör, kör, kör.
Bara gaddarna. Bara gadd.
Kör, kör.
Bara gadd.
Hard sweeping, but a very, very slow rock there.
Mhm.
Ending up just in front of that red rock.
So we have the possibility for a next offensive game, offensive end now.
15 skids.
We'll see what they make.
Eve, that's the one that moves.
Yeah.
Okay.
No?
No, it's not.
Okay, no.
This will be fine.
Okay, now we will quickly check the scores on the other sheets of ice in a second.
Wait, break it.
Close as you can.
7.
So you can see in the other game that's actually over.
Mhm.
Team Yegi has won against Team Fleming from Scotland. So that's another Swiss team in the
Yeah.
quarterfinals. 7-1, that's a big win. Well, Team Fleming is a young junior team. They were actually last year, they were world junior champion. A very nice result for them. And here the other Swiss team that can qualify for the quarterfinals is also winning 5-2 with a nice 3 in the fourth end. So the Swiss team's doing pretty well for now. One's already through. The other one is on her way, playing against Andrea Schopp of Germany. And these are the only 3 games we have here. So we're lucky we've got the tighter game.
You might start doing strange things now.
The Swiss team played very well this weekend at the tournament, but Miriam Ott is not in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, she was
That's
down to
interesting.
0 and she lost to
Yeah.
Michelle Yegi. It's quite funny because I think Michelle Yegi never won one single game against Miriam Ott last year. I think they played maybe 13 times each other or something.
Yeah.
They played themselves finally in the final of the Swiss Championships. And they lost once again. So Michelle Yegi finally got her win against Miriam Ott, that win that she was waiting for so long.
Mm-hmm.
She got it, and now she's through the quarterfinals. So congratulations to her, her team from Bern.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle Yegi has been playing for quite a long time. She also has a lot of experience. She played a few World Junior Championships. She played 3 times in the World Junior Curling Championships. Michelle Yegi from Switzerland, winning 1 gold medal, so she's also a World Junior Champion. And she played the IOF, the European Youth Olympic Festival, and also won the gold medal there. So she's got 2 gold medals, and now she's trying to make her way in the adults after a lot of success in the juniors. I mean, 3 times Swiss champion, which means 3 participations to the Worlds with 1 gold medal. And now she's in the quarterfinals of this tournament.
Lite till bara. Jag vill verkligen kunna spela till det.
Good shot from Agnes Knochenhauer. Leaving Eve Muirhead to play the hit and roll. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can always write to us at live@curlingchampionstour.org. This address is written here at the bottom right of your screen. So do not hesitate. We'll answer your questions and comment your comments live on Hala1.tv. This is the Women's Curling Women's Masters in Basel in Switzerland for a tournament of the Curling Champions Tour. And I'm Roger Golka here commentating with Michael Lips. That looks like a pretty good shot here.
Interesting, yeah.
Yes, very nice hit and roll. You know, it's nice to hit, but it's always better to get the roll you want. I think that's exactly what they did there. I think there's 2 guards guarding those 2 red rocks exactly. So a good situation here for Eve Muirhead. She's got center guards, and she's got position in the control zone, but she doesn't have the last rock.
Jag ser inte riktigt.
Ja, det är precis, men den finns nog. Men även om vi bara skulle klippa så, då blir det faktiskt skott bara vi får rörelse i den.
Ja, jag vet.
Det är bra.
Och även om vi bara tar gadden så öppnar vi i alla fall lite.
Ja precis, även om vi precis tar båda.
Unfortunately, I can't translate the discussions.
So once again, we see we see Anna Hasselborg wanting to do a big hit, asking for the big hit. I don't know if she can actually make that raise. Well, she has to really hit that rock absolutely perfectly. There's actually a risk that she could run back the yellow onto the red, onto her own yellow in the house. So we will see what Agnes Knochenhauer does. Big weight.
Will it be a key shot or not? Heavy take
Just a
out.
tiny bit wide. Oh, that was close.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, she got rid of the center guards.
Same shot as Vicky.
Well, now her yellow rocks is sitting duck
Just go the same way.
right in the middle of the house.
Think same way.
Okay.
It came pretty nice.
So I think even Muirhead just calling for the same shot that they played before, the little hit
Yeah.
and roll. And Sloan.
She feels very sure, I think.
Yeah.
The way
Wait, it's not long. Barrier. Close. No. Barrier. Close.
yeah.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Carl.
Carl.
Yep.
Go in.
Hard. Okay.
That's
Not
actually a
too
pretty
bad,
good
yeah.
shot. Yeah, pretty good shot from Anna Sloan once again.
Raka, mellan.
Yeah, I really wonder now how Anna Hasselborg can score 2 right now.
Yep.
We will see how it happens. Going for the going once again for the run back.
Yeah, and the forefoot is open.
Yeah, well, if she makes that run back well, that would be
Mhm,
actually a pretty
mhm.
good shot. It's not a bad call this time, I think. Karin Rudström. A lot of sweeping. Oh, very nice shot. A
Very
run back
nice.
double. Yeah, that's a good shot.
Well, was it the plan actually?
I
What do you think so?
More or less. More or less. Actually, that's a good thing because she's in the house and
Yeah,
guarded. So
yeah.
there you go. She's back up in the run for a 2. You needed a really nice shot like this, but they made it.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
Okay. 2 or 3.
Well, I think we want to be just past this. Okay, here.
So about 2.5.
Yeah.
So 20.
Yep. 25.
25. It's starting to fudge a wee bit now. Yeah. Just keep it moving.
Sweet Muirhead asking for a draw. Might want to tap her red behind those 2 yellows. Nice and buried.
Yeah, keep it moving.
Line's good, keep it moving.
Whoa.
Line's really good. Clear.
Yeah, keep it going.
Go clear.
Clear, you have to go. Clear.
Yeah.
Clear, come on.
Oh, no, I think she was asking for a guard.
Asking for God,
Yeah.
yeah.
Clear hard. Go hard.
Nice shot.
Ooh, I think she just left a port between those 2 rocks.
Ja, det är en lucka.
Ja.
Och annars är marginal i den.
Ja.
Well, the guard is a bit of a strange call. I mean, this rock is not in a position really to score, even if it's in front of the tee line, because it's not very deep into the house. Maybe I would have been tempted maybe to push it in the house,
Mm-hmm.
push it behind those 2 yellows, and roll into the open to light 2 shots. Oh, very close. That's a pretty bad miss actually, because it would have been better if she had hit the other guard if she wanted to
Yeah,
hit any
right.
of them. Yeah. As now her yellow rock is open.
Yeah, if we can try and get a roll in behind here, it's nice.
I guess we're taking the barrier.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So we have a question from Howard, who says thanks for the coverage, and he's asking why in the last end, why didn't even Muirhead play her last shot gently so the stone could be controlled more easily, so if it finished short she would still get 1, but more chances of knocking out the yellow and stay for 2. Well, it depends really, I think, of her personal preference, but I think that knowing she was playing on the side, where the ice is maybe a little bit more tricky, it might curl a little bit more. Maybe sometimes, you just prefer to put a bit more weight to get a more predictable trajectory, because if you play it slowly, you've got especially with the swingy ice like it is, sometimes it's easy to get your rock to over curl and actually miss the whole of it. So, well, you saw that she threw it pretty hard. They swept it like hell the whole way, and finally it just nicked the rock out. So if she had thrown it a bit slower, it might have just curled way too much. You never know. Knowing it's a part of the ice she doesn't know very much, I think that's why she preferred to throw a little bit harder to make at least sure she gets rid of the rock. I mean, that's also the objective number 1. You don't want to get stupid one stolen on you.
That's also my opinion, yeah.
But it is true that it depends, of course, of your personal preferences. Maybe it can come inside out, a little bit slower. So it is a totally possible option. I understand both calls if ever
Absolutely.
call, Yeah. And thanks for your comment, by the way. And we have another comment from Mike Doman, who is new, and he wants to explain why they take turns in throwing rocks. Every person is allowed to throw a certain number of rocks per end. So Mike from Canterbury in England. So we want to say hi to our English friends, and who are actually having a bit of curling over there, even though most of curling in Britain is in Scotland. It's actually the most funded winter sport in the whole of Great Britain. And so if you're new to this game, well, that's not a problem. We can explain. So why do they take turns in throwing rocks? Mike, do you want to answer this question? Okay, well, they take turns in throwing rocks. I mean, that's the rule of the game. There are 4 players per team and 8 rocks to be thrown per team, and each player throws 2 rocks. That's the rule. And the rule is also that they have to throw those 2 rocks in a row. And so the first player throws the 2 first rocks for his team, the second plays the 2 next rocks, so the rock 3 and 4, the third plays the rocks 5 and 6 for his team, and the skip, or fourth, plays the last rocks. So every player gets to throw. I often, like people who don't know about curling, often ask me, do you throw or do you sweep? Well, actually, you do both, except the skip, actually, who skips. But he also throws rocks, so everybody gets to throw rocks, and everybody gets to throw the same number of rocks. And, yeah, so it's 2 rocks per end. I think that answers also to your second question. Yeah, so every player has to throw and can't throw more than 2 rocks per end. Sometimes it happens that player makes mistake. If the player throws 3 rocks, that can happen. Then that means the next player only throws 1 more rock instead of 2 to catch up the mistake. It's very rare though, but it happened a few times. I've seen that happen. So in theory, it's only 2 rocks. And also another rule is that during the game, you cannot switch the order of how you throw the rocks. If you start playing lead, for example, the 2 first rocks to the end, you cannot switch. You cannot start playing skips rocks during the game. You can switch in between games, but you cannot switch during the game. So the lead usually plays the 2 first rocks and then sweeps all the other one. The second sweeps the lead's rock and all the other ones. And the third usually sweeps the lead and second's rocks and then puts the broom in the house for the skip to throw. That's usually how it happens in curling. And the skip usually doesn't sweep any rocks. He just stays and makes the tactics on his own end. And there's a pretty bad miss right here from Eve Muirhead, just touching the guard. Maybe she was a bit too slow.
Yeah, they started very well, but now they missed to hit the yellow rock.
So thank you for your question, Mike. And if you have any others, don't be afraid of your ignorance. I mean, if you're new to the game, that's not a problem. It's a pleasure for us to tell you more about the game. So Anna Hasselborg's last rock is shot for 2 at a very crucial moment in the game. it's in the even ends. It's always nice to have a 2-point lead in the even ends because this means that if, in theory, of course, you switch the hammer. So it means if you have the hammer in the 6th end, in theory, Muirhead will have the hammer in the 7th end and could score 1 or 2, but you would have the hammer in the last end, which is very, very important at that level. So Anna Hasselborg just drawing for the extra point. And unlike Eve Muirhead, who missed her shot for 2, was probably a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Anna Hasselborg sticks that 2 and takes very important 2-point lead at a very important moment of the game. In the 6th end, 2 ends to go, 7th and 8th. And she is 2 up and doesn't have last draw in the 7th end. So Anna Hasselborg in a very good position now.
Absolutely. And now Eve Muirhead has to attack, has to play offensive, so that she can win the game.
Yeah. Well, Eve Muirhead, if she wants to win, will be forced to steal at least 1 point. This is absolutely sure, because if she wants to win it now, she has to start maybe by scoring 2 in the 7th end and then steal 1 in the 8th. It's also possible that she scores 1 in the 7th, and then she would have to steal at least 1 to get an extra end, and then she would have to steal again in the extra end. Stealing, of course, meaning to score without the last rock. And except maybe if she scores this 3 right now, then she wouldn't need to steal. But with Hasselborg playing defensively, it's maybe unlikely to happen, but you never know, of course. Eve Muirhead can also blank this end. This is also not a catastrophe. Do a 0, keep the hammer in the 8th end, and try and score 2 or 3 in the 8th. If she scores 2, then she would get an extra end. 3, she would win. So that's how it's going to happen. Anna Hasselborg has got that important 2-point lead now. Big switch in the game. And it was very tight, and even though it's only 2 point down at this point in the game, it's quite important lead.
And as I said in the beginning, it will start being interesting from the 6th end on.
Yes,
and now we are in the
exactly,
6th end.
Yeah, well
And
seen.
I'm very sure that it will be very interesting.
Yes, in tight games, often in the 6th end is a very, very crucial end because, like you see, it can determine who will have the big advantage in the 2 last ends.
Yeah.
And this time it switched to Hasselborg. So yeah, very, very sad miss from Eve Muirhead, who just nicked that guard before, allowing Hasselborg to draw for 2, even though she was at the start of the end in a pretty good situation, I'd say. But anyway, it's the points at the end that count and not the good situations during the end. Things can switch also very quickly in curling, so it doesn't mean Hasselborg has already won it yet, but she's in the good way for the qualification in the quarterfinals, but everything is still open if Eve Muirhead scores a 2. And she already had a chance for 2, so it doesn't mean that she will not have another one. That's a pretty good shot. It's a bit too bad the first shot was behind the tee line. Now Eve Muirhead can just freeze on it instead of having absolutely take it out. She has the corner guard, so now it's going to be interesting. We will see Eve Muirhead trying to attack as much as she can.
And shot rock is open.
Try and get as many rocks as she can in play. While Hasselborg is, like we actually saw her doing the whole game, is going to try and power everything out. Of course, if you have any questions and comments about the game in that very crucial moment, just write to us at live@curlingchampionstour.org. Like we already did, we would be really happy to answer your questions and comments. So don't hesitate to write to us. It's always a pleasure.
Går det att slå bara...
Bara så?
Ja.
Eller bara avrull?
Jag tycker vilken...
Jag tycker bara så.
Ja. Tänk bara, då lämnar vi samma frysning igen.
Ja, men vi kan inte chappa heller. Det är väldigt lätt.
So this is not a really good shot from Claire Hamilton, who hasn't been particularly accurate, I thought, during this game in general. she didn't miss particularly many shots, but she was never really as sharp as you would have expected her to be.
Yeah.
As a good lead as she is, you know, not having, well, it happens, you know, sometimes you don't have a really
Yeah.
good game. Having a really good game doesn't, having a not a very good game doesn't mean that you miss everything. It just means that sometimes you don't get the rocks exactly where you want them on a regular basis, and then when the lead doesn't place the rock exactly where the skip wants, then always a little complicated to start the end as well as you wish.
Now we have a very interesting situation. Hasselborg is 2 rocks in front, and now what to play?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, just I think she's just going for the peel
Yeah, right.
on her the red rock. I wonder if she's trying maybe to get a bit rid of her yellow. Yes, yes, she did, because that yellow was actually quite a problem. It was behind
Right,
T-line.
right.
I
Not
think
too
a
bad.
very smart call, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though her yellow is still not enough in front of the T-line, it's just halfway through the T-line.
Yeah, just here. Okay. 15, 20?
I think 15.
She will play the come around behind the red rock.
Yeah, I think that's also a pretty intelligent call. I mean,
Absolutely.
she has to go for 2.
Yeah.
So now that she has that corner guard and the yellow fish shot open, she can actually just go for the side, try and draw one in behind. If she does that, then Anna will very certainly play the peel, maybe try the run back, and then she will probably replace the guard until she decides to attack that rock in the middle. So good shot. Good shot from Vicky Adams. It's second shot. It's behind the guard.
Yeah.
So I think Anna Hasselborg will probably try to peel off the guard. I mean, this is probably the most dangerous rock in play right now.
I think so too, yeah.
But maybe maybe she decides to switch for a more offensive call.
Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting, but I would favor maybe them just peeling the guard out, because if ever you miss, I mean, the situation is that if ever you don't make your shot perfectly, Eve Muirhead could have a shot to get 2 rocks behind that corner guard, and then she would have a 3 set up. So if you peel the guard, at least you're sure that Eve Muirhead is not going to score 2 normally if everything goes right. So I think that's why I would go for the guard. Just if Eve Muirhead scores 2, it doesn't really matter, because Hasselborg will be tied with the last rock in the last end, which is enough to win a game. If she freezes on it perfectly, okay, that's fine. But it's more difficult than just a peel, especially they like to hit those girls.
She decided for the peel, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the wisest call.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it has to be well executed, and it is. Nice shot from Agnes Knockenhauer. So probably we'll see if Muirhead replacing the guard, or maybe attacking that yellow rock. Yeah, I think replacing the guard. It's it's still quite early in the end. You know, if you play that early in the end, let's say the split, if you try and have 2 shots in the house, there are still many rocks to play, and we saw it's quite hard to hit and stay. So it's probably better just to keep guarding your rock, and Hasselborg will keep peeling the guard until maybe you get to the skips rocks, and then she can go and split the house, because they're less, I mean, the less hits and stay you have to play, the less chances you have to hit and roll out. So I personally perfectly agree with this call.
Good shot.
Yeah, good shot. But I think that they can get it with a hack weight. I don't know if they're going to take the risk or if they're just going to peel simply. Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's maybe deciding for the hack anyway. Well, if you play the hack, you have to make sure that you're not wide. If you're wide, there's going to... Al Moore, our Swiss national coach, says you have to make sure it makes noise. You have to hear something. If you don't hear anything, then that's really bad. So Anna Hasselborg has to make sure her player that there is some sound, that there is some contact. You're not allowed to miss wide, because if you're inside, at least you touch the guard and you peel it.
Yeah.
So she missed on the inside, but a little bit too much on the inside, though, because she stayed in the guard. So this is, I think it's a little bit too risky at this point in the game to play for the hackway. Just peel it. You're sure, in theory, not to get more than 2 taken on you if you peel. So because the worst that can happen if you peel is that Eve Muirhead hits and rolls behind the center yellow, biting the house. But then you would still have an open shot on the side to peel, and then Eve Muirhead would only be left with maximum of 2. Now she can draw once again behind that corner guard and get an end set up for 3. And of course, it puts more pressure on Anna Hasselborg.
Yeah, now they come around.
So good situation for Eve Muirhead,
Lots
even
of
though she's
room.
not lying shot.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, good shot. That's a good shot. In front of the T line, behind the guard. There you go. So now are they going to throw the master shot?
Front of the T line.
Yeah. Is she going to make the raise double?
Difficult situation now for Hasselborg.
Yeah, it seems close.
Okay.
Well, she got 1, but she's still guarding.
Well paid, this rock.
Yeah, but she still has the guard.
Yeah, right.
So it doesn't change particularly much. Well, it does a bit, but... So is Eve going to play the hit and roll now? Or just try again and draw? Maybe on Anna Sloan's second rock, I would still ask for the draw once again. You can see the motion of the rock. Well, maybe not. Finally, she's doing the hit and roll. If she does the hit and roll, she will have 2 rocks guarded, so that's a good situation for her.
Absolutely.
Off. Looks close.
Excellent,
Oh,
excellent,
yes.
brilliant.
2
Nice
brilliant
shot.
shots from Anna Sloan right there. I don't know, I've always known her as a very decisive player at the decisive moments. Decisive moments, my bad, my English, my French accent. But, it's... And like I always remember her, you know, it's so important to have a third player who plays well, because it's the player who sets up the situation for the skip, and we know the skip has got nobody behind him to catch up his own mistakes. Usually the mistakes of the skip are seen on the scoreboard. I just remember Annette Norberg's last shot in the last game. I mean, she had the draw, she missed it. Well, that's it. She lost the game.
Yeah. I
saw
it.
I mean, the mistakes of the skip are directly shown on the scoreboard. So if your third plays well and sets you up right, then the skip's got easier shots to play and is more likely to make them. And so we see Anna Sloan prepared a really nice situation for your head there, and it's always nice, I mean, when you're skipping your third doing that kind of stuff for you. Is she wide?
Yeah.
But she made it. So now I think Muirhead might just try either to draw open on the other side, and that's her 2, or maybe just try and draw behind that yellow rock there in front of the house, and go for 3, eh?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like that.
So we see once again a very nice shot from Anna Hasselborg.
Quite like that.
Curl quite a lot, even
Mhm.
even with the weight. Those girls can hit well, eh?
Even, even if you short a bit. Yeah.
So you coming down over there with taking that. So I'm thinking we're going to
Are you happy with that? Yeah? I think even more. Edge of 4. 20. Stone. Oh, sorry. Yeah. 20.
Wanna go just 8 foot?
Okay, okay. 20 feet.
So the question is now 2 or 3 for Eve Muirhead this end. We'll see what she will play for the next rock. She will play behind the guard.
Young skip from Perth, Scotland.
7. Line only.
Line's you
Line's really good.
Whoa.
Whoa!
6, 7.
Whoa! 7.
6, 7.
Vicky!
Just going for the 3 at least.
Yeah.
She has to make sure she doesn't tap that yellow. I think
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think she made that right. Is she going to be high hidden? They're sweeping it hard to
Yeah,
get it as far as they
wide
can.
open.
But it is open. But so yeah, well at least Hasselborg's got a double there.
Mhm.
She can make the double. That would be a blank end.
Alltså vi har
Not too
precis
bad.
Yeah.
spelat ut eller upp.
Ja, men dubbel.
But I mean, she should at least stop Eve Muirhead from scoring more than 2,
Mhm.
which is the most important, I think. If she gets the double, that's the extra, and the double is there.
Absolutely.
Those yellow, those reds. My bad.
Definitely the call for the double now.
Yeah, another big weight shot. I don't know how many they've played in that game. I mean, usually you used to see a women's team tending to play a little bit more draw, more offense.
Mhm.
Sometimes they don't like playing hard weights, but this team does really like play hard weights.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and they play them good. I mean, they made their raises, they made a few runbacks. They're quite precise, and they know it, so that's why they use that force. Big weight.
Here is the contact.
No, but she just jammed. That's really too bad. Big weight there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's the draw for 2 for Eve Muirhead. So finally she gets her draw for 2.
Mhm.
She doesn't have a complicated takeout on the side to hit and stay. Really close shot there by Anna Hasselborg. You see it once again. Either it just didn't curl enough or it curled a little bit too much. But it just didn't make it right anyway. It's okay. They're going to be normally, this shot is not made yet, but normally they're going to be tied 4-4, and we're going to have a really nice last end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Interesting last end.
like we called it, Eve Muirhead will have to steal at least 1 point to win. And so she will have to steal in the last 8th end
Keep it clean.
to try
Up to you.
and slip through into the quarterfinals.
We're good. 6. Yep, keep going. Just keep on it.
Yeah, the sweeper's
Yeah,
making
just
sure
keep
it's
on
it.
just
Yeah.
in the house, just has to touch the rings, doesn't
Weight
matter
is
where
under
it stops.
control.
Yeah, sweeper's taking it easy in the
Mhm.
4-foot. Good shot. Nice end. I think Hasselborg is actually a little bit lucky only to get a 2 sometimes. When I
Yeah.
think about it there, Eve had good chances, but actually they played the takeouts well. I mean, they did those 2 runbacks, actually 3 runbacks, I think, which were really important.
Ja, men typ alltså. Men jag spelar på den, Anna, så
To-
ta den i som du tror.
to keep themselves from getting a 3 taken on them.
So the question is now for the last end, what will expect us in the last end?
Well,
Another offensive game.
well,
I hope
they're-
so.
like usually, you'll have
Yeah.
one team trying to play the offense while the other will play the defense. Eve Muirhead has to steal, so now it's all or nothing. You don't matter. It doesn't
All or
matter
nothing, right.
doesn't matter if Hasselborg scores a 7 or 1. The game will be won if she does so, if she scores. And Eve Muirhead just has to go for a steal. So it's actually kind of like a skins
I
game.
think she will make everything to steal one rock in the last end, and
Yeah.
so I think she will play very offensive now.
Yeah, well, yeah, you start classical start in that kind of situation.
Line's good.
Uh,
1, 2.
Your opening shot, you place it in front of the house, either close to the hog line or close to the house, one or the other. In the middle is always a bit tricky because it's hard to put two guards far away from each other if you're too much around the middle. Of course, you want to use that free guard zone, which forbids leads to take off rocks who are in front of the house. So what Sandra Fleek is going to have to do is a tick shot or a soft peeling.
Right.
It's just push that red rock away from the center, but not push it out of the play, and if possible, roll with her rock out. So you usually play a backline weight and hope that you get a right contact. Yeah, the sweeping, the reading of the ice, the throwing, everything is very important in that difficult shot, which leads make more and more often. And yeah, they decided that it wasn't going to make it,
Yeah.
so they just took the rock away. Because of course, if you remove a guard, which is in the free guard zone, you have to replace it.
So it
And
is.
yes.
Yeah.
So missed first shot, but it's okay. I mean, it happens quite often that those shots are missed. But more and more often, you see leads. They practice a lot those shots because they're very, very important. I mean, if they're made, then I mean your team is a really good situation. So now Claire Hamilton is going to try and draw a rock in front of the house, as close as she can to the house, as far away as she can to her guard,
Yeah.
if possible right behind it.
Guard behind the guard.
Exactly, and that seems absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
While we were saying Claire Hamilton was not particularly precise in that game, well, there she has been absolutely perfect in this end. And it's at the crucial moment, so so that's okay. I mean, if your lead is there when you absolutely need him to be there, that's perfect. And so now you're going to go for the tick shot once again. Teams have different tactics usually. Sometimes if they miss the first tick shot, they will just draw behind those two guards in front of the tee line on their second shot, or they decide to try for the tick shot once again. It seems close, and that seems like a perfect tick shot. There you see that red rock is pushed to the side where it's roughly useless.
Nice shot.
Team Muirhead is only left with one center guard. Because if you want to steal, you need center guards. You need guards in the middle to bury one rock behind in the 4-foot to make the opponent skip who has the last rock. It's life most difficult, so Anna Hasselborg will want to just clear the middle to get an easy last shot for one. While Eve Muirhead is going to try the exact opposite, just junk it up in front of the, on the center line,
Heads up.
so that she will make Anna Hasselborg's shot as tough as possible. So they need to get that rock pretty close from the hog line, otherwise they can allow Agnes Knochenhauer to play for a double peel, and Claire Hamilton does. Vriki Adams doesn't seem particularly satisfied with her shot. It's not that bad though.
Not that bad.
No, not that bad.
Right.
The double is there.
Interesting situation.
The double is there, but it's not sure that Agnes Knochenhauer rolls out.
Double is possible, but the triple not.
No, well. Anyway, let's see if she manages to roll out with this one. Well, first she has to hit the first one, right? Hart sweeping. Looks like it's curling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just one, I think it's going to be yes, indeed. So, peel of one. One more center guard left. And Eve Muirhead is logically going to ask for another center guard. Eve Muirhead is actually hoping for a miss right now. I mean, if ever Hasselborg's team misses a peel, that would be a blessing from God. Of course, you don't really expect it to happen at that level with that kind of ice. Usually, players don't miss very many peel shots.
You just want to be one, as far up as possible.
Especially with a really good hitting team like Anna Hasselborg's team.
Yeah.
So if she can replace it roughly where it is, if maybe just a little bit closer to the hog line, I think that's exactly what she's doing. That would be absolutely perfect.
Perfect end now.
Good,
yeah.
good shot.
Interesting.
Good shot. I think there, if ever she does the double, I don't see how she can really roll out, except with a lot of weight. Maybe Anna Hasselborg is just going to go for one peel. Hope the next guard gives them a better chance for a double peel. So Eve Muirhead's going to keep on putting guards in front, and with her last shot, she will normally draw in behind into the forefoot. And now it's Anna Sloane's first rock. Anna Sloane from Dumfries, southern Scotland.
That's quite soft.
1, 2.
Line's a little tighter.
Oh, just one.
Just
Just
over
one.
that, Becky.
Just
Good
one.
spot. Over. Over. It's over.
Yeah, she's fine.
It needs to curl a wee bit.
Okay, it's coming now.
No,
It's coming
no,
now.
no, no.
Yeah, seems good weight.
Yep, go clear. Hard. Go clear. Hard.
Hey, get there. Nice shot. Okay.
Nice rock.
Hasselborg looking for the double peel. It is there, it's difficult, but it is there.
Yeah.
Double peel and roll out.
Possible.
Yeah, Eve Muirhead's got her guards nicely set up. And it is true, I think that's a pretty good call here. This red guard closest to the house is probably the most dangerous one. Because if ever Eve Muirhead gets one buried behind this one, it'll be really hard for Hasselborg to get it out. So good shot. Good shot from Karin Rutström,
Okay, just
a
here,
Swedish
you can touch
third.
it well,
Yeah.
it's okay. Even 4's okay. I like 3 though.
Yeah.
She will call for another guard close to the house.
Yeah, just trying to replace it,
Yeah.
if possible, perfectly behind their guard. So Anna Sloane playing her second and last shot of the game normally, provided that somebody scores in this end.
Get it to 3, girls. Get it to 3. Line's good.
Oh, if you can.
Line's really good.
Becky.
Back. 3.
Yep.
Back. Go, Becky. Yep, go, Becky. Hard. Go, Becky. Hard. Go, Becky.
Hart sweeping. Good sweeping for the line and for the speed. You want to try and get those two rocks as far as possible apart so that the double peel is as hard as possible. Will they go for the double, or will they just retry what they did before? I mean, just get that rock closest to the house. Just a question of what you feel better, maybe. I think the double peel's there. Probably a little bit easier than before, or less hard, I would say.
What would you do? Open? Or would you play behind the guard?
Whatever, right now I would still play a peel.
Yeah.
Maybe keep the draw for maybe Hasselborg's first rock.
Yeah. Yeah. Another peel, as we can see.
Got it.
And she made it right.
Solid played.
So Eve Muirhead's first rock. She's going for the house now. Yeah, good call, I think. If she goes into the house behind the guard, then Hasselborg will probably be forced to peel. Or maybe, depending what happens, she could play a hack weight. So I think Eve Muirhead's better off to be more front of the house, probably in the 12 or 8 foot. Make the hack a little bit more difficult. This guard's quite far away, and we've seen the ice is pretty swingy, so there is space to curl behind and take a rock out. That's behind the guard. After, it'll all be to Anna Hasselborg's preference. So first of the 2 shots of Eve Muirhead. Scottish skip. Curling celebrity.
Definitely.
No. 7, 8. No. 7, 8.
Oh, 7-8. It's probably just over T line, and it seems like it's going to stay open.
Yep.
Heavyweight.
Yeah. Well, I've been used to see Eve Muirhead a little bit more accurate in those kinds of decisive shots. Sorry, but at least it's in the house. It's there, and I wonder if Hasselborg would rather play just a peel, a hack, a freeze, just peel the guard.
Why not to peel the guard? Shot is behind T-line.
Yeah. If you peel the guard, then Eve Muirhead's just going to play a second rock in front of her rock.
Yeah.
Maybe if you draw behind the guard yourself in front of the 4 foot, in front of the T-line, it might be pretty nicely laying pretty nicely.
Must be played perfectly.
Yeah, it must be played perfectly. The advantage with the guard the way it is that it's really far away from the house, so even if Eve Muirhead manages to draw one perfectly behind shot, Anna Hasselborg would still have a hack weight to play, can still play a hack weight to get rid of it, so maybe just taking out that red rock and rolling a little bit to the side, staying in the house, you know.
Yeah.
Just get a shot in. Then Eve Muirhead will have to draw behind the guard, and if you play the hack weight, you can even afford to roll out, and you will still have your yellow rock in the house. So I think she's just playing a light takeout weight.
Jag tror du kan ta lite mindre. Alltså jag vet inte, det känns så mycket, men det kanske är bra. Bara lita på att det är sarg.
She is not very sure what she shall play now. A lot of discussions.
Yeah, but she was just changing the ace a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway. It has to curl. It's maybe sweepers seem to say it's a little bit fast. Be good if she could stay somewhere in the rings on the side. Even with Anna Sloan's hard sweeping, it's just going to hang in the rings.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really nice shot. So now Eve Muirhead's just going to have to draw. Whoa. That was close. Nearly fell down. And Hasselborg, you don't want to get injured right now. Not at that crucial moment. But when you're so close to being in a quarterfinal of the World Curling Tour, Curling Champions Tour, sorry, tournament.
I'm just thinking if we're a wee bit lighter, do you think the same ice or?
That?
Yeah, like that.
Get past the guard by a lot.
Just a tad off. Yeah, not enough.
Eve Muirhead, final stone in the 8th end.
Yeah, she has to lie shot, which shouldn't be too difficult. But she has to be as well buried as she can behind that guard, and not too far away from the middle of the house.
Line's really good. 5, 6. 5, 6.
think that whatever happens, Hasselborg will have a hack weight at least. Hard sweeping.
Hard sweeping, yeah.
Yeah, looks like a pretty good shot. They have to go as hard as they can. Oh. Well,
1
so
meter
now
too short.
depends what Anna Hasselborg prefers, a hack or just a cold draw to the forefoot. Apparently she prefers the draw. I think that's the most intelligent call.
Yeah.
I mean, just draw the forefoot. That's what her job is. I mean, as a skip, you just have to draw the forefoot. That's all usually you ask for a skip.
She just has to deliver the rock. The
Just
rest makes the
get
sweepers.
the draw. Not taking example net at Norberg this morning. Well, this in the beginning of the afternoon. And just play it into fully into the 8-foot. 4-foot is enough to win the game.
Actually, a very easy shot to play.
Yeah, but under
pressure is on.
under those conditions, it's
Yeah, right.
sometimes you think you see the house shrink.
Final stone in the 8th end.
Yeah, and probably of the game, although certainly of the game.
Will she win? Will she play the winning stone?
Hard sweeping. Well, the sweepers seem pretty satisfied the way they're
Yeah.
looking at it. They're just cleaning the rock. Is it a little bit too fast maybe? No, I think it's okay.
Excellent.
And well played. Perfect shot from Anna Hasselborg.
Perfect.
Well, it's behind the tee line, etc. But it absolutely doesn't matter. It had to be shot, and that's all what counted. So Eve Muirhead is out of this competition, and Anna Hasselborg goes to the quarterfinals through the sea road, so through the longest way possible. But they have made it. That's what really counts at that level. You just have to win your games, play the quarterfinals.
Voila.
You have your chance. That's it. So congratulations to the Swedish team. A little hello to all the Swedish people who are looking at us. I suppose Joachim Flieg's very happy for his sister. I can understand him. And, well, we're sorry for all the Scottish people who are watching us. Well, anyway, we know Eve Muirhead's going to be back even stronger than before. Probably wasn't her best tournament, anyway, or the best tournament of her team. But they already made it this far. And anyway, there are still many other tournaments to play. And so congratulations to both teams for the great game we've seen. Nice, tight game.
Yeah,
And,
congratulations from my side as well.
Yeah.
It was great fun.
Okay, so this was the final of the Sea Road. Last game to qualify for the quarterfinals of this Women's Masters in Basel, Switzerland, a tournament of the Curling Champions Tour. I'm Roger Golka, and I was commentating with Michael Lips. This was a pleasure.
It was a great pleasure for me,
Yeah.
for the very first time, to comment a game for this tournament.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, tomorrow we have a game, a quarter-final at 8 o'clock. So I hope you guys are all going to be watching us. The final is going to be at 2:45, GMT +1 time in Switzerland. So anyway, I think the semifinal is at 11 o'clock. So anyway, we wish you at home a very pleasant evening, and we wish to see you tomorrow. Well, we wish to have you tomorrow with us at 8 a.m. So
Good night from
good
Basel.
night, and